Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're exploring something, well, kind of interesting. The surprising power you can find in going after seemingly small passions, maybe even slightly feisty ones.
Exactly. We've been looking at this piece, Pugnacious Passions and Dishwashing Defeats.
Right, and our mission really is to unpack what that means for you, for us, why these little urges matter.
It's about understanding that those minor things, those drives, they can actually hold real value.
Okay, so first off, this word pugnacious. The source defines it as showing a readiness or desire to fight or argue. Now think about that for a second. When was the last time you felt really strongly, maybe even a bit argumentative about something that, well, honestly, might seem pretty minor to anyone else?
It's funny you ask that. We all have those moments, don't we, where it's not about proving anything externally. It's just this internal thing.
Totally. And the author shares this great personal story. They felt they had to build their own tween engine for ActionScript.
Which is like a tool for web animations.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, there were already good ones out there, plenty of them, but they had this sort of pride, this need to make their own.
And they called it
Wasteful but happy. I love that phrase. What does that sort of sentiment make you think about?
Well, it really highlights the value in the doing, doesn't it? If you actually have the space, the time for it. These things are valuable just for the experience itself.
Right. Like it doesn't always have to lead somewhere big.
Precisely. It's a chance to just engage, to learn without that constant pressure of, is this productive? Which, let's be honest, we don't get that freedom very often in our daily lives.
And that ties into another point they make, this idea of grease from one desire to the next.
Yeah, I like that phrasing.
It's like these seemingly random interests can somehow lubricate the path for future things, add a richness you didn't expect. How do you see that working?
Well, think about it maybe like this. The intense focus you might put into, say, perfecting a really tricky recipe. That same kind of detailed problem solving. Maybe that helps you later when you're tackling some complex work project. The skills, the mindset, it can transfer, even if the subjects seem totally worlds apart.
That makes sense. The source also had this brilliant visual, this image.
Oh, the dishwasher one.
Yes. The superhero standing all proud next to a perfectly, architecturally loaded dishwasher.
And the roommate just looks totally defeated.
It's such a funny, relatable picture of that intense feeling you can get over. Well, everyday stuff. What are your dishwasher triumphs? Those little things you get maybe a slightly disproportionate kick out of.
We all have them. But that image, it really gets at the idea that passion isn't always like curing diseases or climbing mountains. Sometimes it's just mastering the small things.
Finding satisfaction in the process.
Exactly. And those little wins, they add up. They build a sense of, yeah, I can do this. Momentum.
Right. And the piece points out, even if that initial spark, that tween engine desire, eventually fizzles out.
Which happens.
Yeah, which happens. The experience itself, chasing that internal drive, that was the valuable part. It wasn't wasted time, even if the project didn't change the world. It's about the journey.
Absolutely. Personal growth isn't just, big leaps.
Yeah.
It's also exploring these little side paths.
Yeah.
You learn about what makes you tick, what genuinely grabs your interest, even if it's just for a bit.
And to kind of nail this point home, they bring in Theodore Roosevelt.
The quote.
Believe you can, and you're halfway there. It feels like that applies perfectly here, doesn't it? That initial belief, that little flicker of, I want to do this, is maybe the most crucial step.
Definitely.
Even if the goal seems, slightly absurd to anyone looking in from the outside.
Right. It speaks volumes about your mindset.
Yeah.
Believing in your small, maybe slightly pugnacious goal gives you the energy to actually engage with it. And that engagement is where the real value, the potential unexpected benefits lie.
So, wrapping this up a bit, what's the main thing you think we should take away from this idea of embracing these small, feisty passions?
I think it's really about recognizing they have value in themselves. Don't dismiss them. Leaning into these things, even the quirky ones, can genuinely bring joy, spark something new later on. It just adds texture to life.
Yeah, absolutely adds texture. Okay, so a final thought for everyone listening. We know life is messy, right? Things aren't always neat and tidy.
Definitely not.
So thinking about that, what small, maybe slightly odd desire might you think about pursuing just for the heck of it, just for the experience? What's your version of dishwasher perfection you could aim for? Something to think about. Thanks for joining our deep dive today.